Right, so this is a task today I wasn't expecting to be doing. I think it's only been 3 weeks since we featured, or we had the Dainichi Kohaku out the pond to do the sort of final selection. Now, I'm not going to lie, the main reason for doing this today is that I've been stressing out thinking every day when I'm here, the Kohaku weren't growing at the rate I was expecting to see it happening. In volume and in length, to be honest. What I have been seeing is the yellow monkeys growing disproportionately to everything else. I've since added the Dragon Ball Sankey in, like we discussed, but as you can see in here, the yellow monkeys are just getting insane. They are such dominant feeders that it was, in hindsight, it was a gamble putting them in here, but now it's reached a point where I need to max out for the Kohaku and the Sankey. That said, as they've come up, I've had a mega pleasant surprise. We've all just been discussing how shocked we are at how much they have actually grown in a 3-week time period. The increase in volume has been crazy, and length. So yeah, I mean, I've started them for 3 days before we've netted them up, which is really, really important. It's really hot, but what I'm going to be doing today now is the Ginrin Karashi from the Yellow Monkey line. We're actually going to be going into a pond in the other greenhouse, one of the 1,200 gallon ponds, where for now they're going to continue growing. There's only 18 of those, and I've put in there some Takano Sankeys, which I think will compete with them, but the stocking level is only going to be around 25 fish, which is really, really low for what I normally do. So I'm not worried we're still going to push massive growth on them, but what it is going to do is take that problem out of here and allow these the most space and best conditions to grow in. So on top of that as well, I've got to sort out, after the last video, Neil from Sunnybank Koi, I thought he was winding me up to begin with, asked me for if I would sell one of the bowls of 15 Kohaku. We had 2 bowls of 15 we featured, and we eventually did come to an agreement. So we're going to be photographing them up today, and they're actually going to be available for sale via Sunnybank Koi. They're now his fish, but they are going to be growing here until October. So that service will be included with those fish, and that is, I don't often do stuff like that. It must have caught me at a bit of a weak moment, to be honest. But yeah, if you're after a dreamy Dainichi Kohaku, one of the best lots will be available for sale via him, including that growing here. And looking at what's going off, you're going to end up with one hell of a Nisai come the autumn. So well worth looking into that one. But for now, I've got to find those 15. Chris is going to get them photographed. I'll get my sorting done here, and yeah, we'll see where we get to. But absolutely baking hot. The water's sat about 28 degrees at the minute, which is manageable. Don't like it going too much warmer. But yeah, the results are clearly coming. I'm also going to take this opportunity just to have a final selection through here. So everything going back, I won't be planning on touching this pond again now until it's harvest in autumn. So yeah, final selection, just anything that I think might not need the cut, make the cut, or needs to go in a different pond or come out, and the final lot will be back in here to really push them to the maximum now. But it's looking good, really dreamy stuff, all this, but we're going to get into it, and yeah, we'll show you a few fish at the end. This one already, just look at the size. Also, I'm possibly considering taking this one out and growing that with the Karashi going now, because it's just an animal. It really is grown disproportionately to all the others so far. Just how they've come on in that short space of time is absolutely incredible, and just a sign of what's going to come by the autumn. There's going to be some big Nisai in here, remarkable stuff. So let's say Chris is going to photograph them now, but that change in that short space is bonkers. Really done well. This is probably one of my real highlights. This is just phenomenal. I did highlight it on the previous video for its Benny quality, but that bone structure and everything it's got going on. There's a really good chance, because we've not sexed anything yet, but because these have come from really small toe side, there is going to be a good mix of male and female amongst them. Just look at the quality of that. Insane stuff. Every sort of pattern style as well. Flowery, super Marathon there. Crazy stuff. More classic two-step, the Needham pattern. The body again, that Benny quality. Lovely, lovely head pattern on that. This Nidan here is, again, one I'm pretty gutted about. It's going to be a powerhouse. Just look at the power it possesses. It's crazy. But lovely, well balanced Nidan, good odor may. Really are special fish. And that rare opportunity to actually have the fish growing here as well. So there's all that added value to be thrown on top. But amazing stuff. I'm going to move on from them now before I get any more upset, and have a look what's in my net, the bits that are left, and see what's going to be staying and what's going to be coming out. So far I've got 38 fish back in the pond. A few of them I just released before this because they had quite badly split fins that are recovering well, so got them back in the pond. And yeah, 38 pieces in there so far. Probably just on the fence with a couple. It could be the heat just getting to the colour a lot, to be fair. Make that 39 back in the pond. So a few there, 1, 2, 6 pieces that we're going to probably just get out now and actually release them for sale. Some nice bits, but the size of these are proper jumbo toe sizes now. Really impressed. And yeah, move on and look at some Dragon Ball Sankey, which have really come together. So, Sankey. These I've got really interesting in a short space of time. And a lot of them Sakai characteristics are really starting to come alive now. You can see that beast there. Not got the strongest pattern, certainly not from a Benny perspective, but I'm just admiring the body line of that one. I'm going to see what we can do with it. Size wise, to be fair, but all of these except for 2 fish are the Dragon Ball lineage stuff. This fish here is actually the Takano Sankey that I popped in. Really strong piece, doing well. So yeah, that was just excessively growing, so got it in here to give it more space and really bring it on. Then there's actually a Sakai Sankey from the other batch we've recently featured on the channel. If I can find it. This one I actually moved early on because it was really sort of jumping on the growth. This one here. Really quite high hopes for that one, looking at where the Sumi's distributed, could make for a really interesting pattern and still doing really well. So yeah, that makes it in there as well. But overall, yeah, exciting times ahead with this lot, and to have the sort of Sankey of this calibre, hopefully that potential size we can get them to, yeah, a joy come October, to say the least. So get these in now. I think there's just a couple of pieces that aren't going to make it back. The rest will go, and then yeah, time to move on to those Ginrin Karashigoi. So now we're on to the problem children. As you will see, some of these are just insane. This is Ginrin Karashigoi. Were nowhere close to being exciting until Dainichi went and did this, and these things really live up to every bit of hype around them. They are insane. To have something with this growth potential, as pleasant looking, with the amazing colour, the Ginrin on top, which is usually a factor from a growth perspective that would work against them, all that considered, you know, there's not a Ginrin Karashigoi out there to rival these. The body shape, bone structure is so consistent. It's not just the length they're getting, you know, the body mass is mental. Just look at this. It's really jumbo toe size. The power in that body is just nuts. So there they are. The bullies. Got this particular one as well. I mean, they are all in, but the colour of this is just on another level. It is insane. Pretty confident that's going to hold out and get even better as well, to be honest. What a fish. You can see there as well, you know, even the growth difference amongst these, to be honest. There's always, no matter what the group of fish, what the variety, there's always those dominant pieces. And I think we've got the one here that was sold in a live auction as well, including growing. That's doing insanely well at the minute. I think when I last checked was up to 38 cm, so plus 5 cm already on that one. It'll be a big fish by the autumn. Let's see where we're at with some of these. So on the smaller end there, we're hitting 35. Then up to 40 already. Yeah, and the auction one now even looks like it's exceeded 40. I think it was only a week ago that I checked in on that. It's crazy stuff. Like I say, variety lives up to every bit of hype, and this is just where that, you know, those genetics when you're buying these fish from these big farms really make all the difference and sort of kick in and come into their own. Remarkable stuff. So yeah, these are going to get moved, like I say, into a smaller pond. Now we'll see what I can do with them in a really low stocked 1200 gallon pond over the summer. There's a chance they might make their way back in here as other ponds kind of evolve and change over the summer. If one becomes available, they might get slipped in, but for now that's the plan, just to give everything the best opportunity to grow as well as they can. So like you can see there, a lot of stuff going on today. Little things like this on the farm are incredibly important in order to get that maximum growth throughout the season. We can't just set a pond off, and this is, to be honest with you, one of the advantages over your concrete ponds that you can access versus mud ponds. You can't do this sort of stuff in mud ponds. Once you've made that decision early in the season upon release, that's it until harvest time. There's no sort of midway interval to do selections and change stuff. That's why it's so important there to get it right first time. But we've got that luxury. So yeah, important stuff, but get this finished off now and sign off for the day, because we are all absolutely roasting.